It's week 2 of the National Football League. And up next, we'll see Jalen Hurts. He comes in second in the league in passing yards this season. It's the Eagles and the Falcons on Monday Night Prime Time.
Philadelphia is known for having some very vocal fans, and nearly 70,000 of them are letting their voices be heard already. Welcome inside Lincoln Financial Field. Welcome to another entertaining matchup, folks. Kate Scott, Brock Heward on the call in this one. And Brock, got a couple of running backs down on the field who can really take over their offenses when they get in the groove.
And I think that's going to be the ultimate goal of both of these offenses, right? I mean, there's just no confusion about it. They want to get their bell cow in that groove and get them going. Find that rhythm where they're ripping off chunk yardage run after run and then just keep on feeding that beast. In a game like this, whichever offense can get that rhythm and run game going first is likely going to be your winner.
Jake Elliott is out and ready to kick this one away. And we're underway from Philadelphia. Starting from the 5. And this drive will start inside the 25. So out head the Falcons for their first possession. And they'll be led out by the 8th pick of the draft. The lefty who led your alma mater, Washington, to the national championship game, Brock, Michael Penix Jr.
One of the big advantages of Michael Penix coming into the league is it wasn't storybook in college. In fact, he got beat up in Bloomington. Everybody remembers the end at Washington, the runner-up for the Heisman, the national title game. But he took a beating. Injuries derailed many of his years back at Indiana. And I think because of that background, because of all that gets built through that adversity, he's more than ready for everything that comes his way in the NFL.
He picks up 15 on the play. And it's good for an Atlanta first down. Play action. Here's Penix. Taken in by Smith. And he'll have a small 4-yard chunk there. Josh Sweat making the stop.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage.
He gets it forward for a gain of 3. C.J. Gardner-Johnson there on the tackle. Eagles with an extra man in the secondary for this third down. Penix working from the gun. Has him on the quick hitter. And they get this down to the 44 before he stopped. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
Gosh, I really like this receiver on that drag route in particular. Why? Because he's a guy that creates after the catch. They don't close quickly. He could take it to the house.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Here's Robinson up the middle. And he's brought down for a loss.
I know from the position of the quarterback, Kate, sometimes you hand that ball, you put it in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And that pushes him back, 3rd down coming up.
I think his decision-making wrote a check that his legs couldn't catch this time. This QB can run, and he's ranging, looking for space, looking for an outlet. But there was none to be had. No escape route available this time.
So not an enviable spot here as they come up on 3rd and very long. From the shotgun, Penix. And that's a win for the pass rush. Hit as he threw it, leads to the incompletion. 4th down coming up.
You know, when we were growing up in the backyard, we call them alligators. 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator. He needed another alligator in order to get that ball off. Credit the defense for forcing the incompletion.
And this one did hit at the 8, but took a big bounce and finished its journey in the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Eagles now for their first drive. They're led out by an incredible score through the air and on the ground. He was picked 53rd back in 2020. It's Jalen Hurts.
Just knowing this quarterback in his mindset, there is no question he would give up 400 some yards he threw for last week for a W. Really, stats don't matter. No matter how productive you are playing that position, and boy, was he last week, it really comes down to finding a way to win. As they like to say, winners win in the end, and he and his crew got to get it done today.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. They run it with Saquon Barkley. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
You know, coach gets in that QB's headset, probably told his offense and his QB, listen, I don't want to see a 3rd down on this possession. Or something kind of like that. Whatever version he told him, it worked.
And they sent it straight ahead, but the front stops him after a gain of 3. Now we'll take a moment to check out his numbers on the ground from a week ago. Second down now, 7 to go. Motion man left is Brown. Shotgun snap for Hurts. That's caught. It's Saquon Barkley. And he goes out close to that 45-yard line. And the Falcons get a 5th defensive back out there. 3rd down coming. A little touch pass here, trying to move the chains. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
This is one of those real modest gains, Kate, that I like as a call. And it's just a little more variety to your playbook. Makes that defense wonder. Those guys on the other side of the ball think a little bit. This dude's not just a receiver. He may get in the run game as well.
The Falcons taking the field for their 2nd drive. And they're certainly hoping for some better results here after that first drive ended in a punt. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Drive begins with a run. It's Robinson. And they had that one contained right at the line. Devin White hauls him down. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10. Penix here from the gun. That's into the hands of Moore. And he's going to be brought down up at the 28-yard line. Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That won't be caught outright. It's incomplete.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. Fair catch called for, and he's got it right near the 30-yard line. No return on that punt, and the Eagles will take possession. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. He's got Smith. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Part of the reason I leave you pregame, Kate, and get down to that field and watch these guys throw and catch is I want to see their timing. I want to see their anticipation. That is picture perfect right there. A crossing route thrown that quickly tells me these two are on the same page.
1st down, a run with Barkley. And they beat him to the edge. That run stopped back at the line. Call it no gain on that run, and they face 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. At the 45-yard line.
Here's another carry for Barkley. And that's good for a gain of 5. Stopped by Grady Jarrett. Here's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
From the pistol, Hurts escapes the pocket. He's running for it. That play good for 17 and a 1st down.
Well, there was no sense in taking a risk down the field when a 1st down was just a run away. They'll get to reset now and figure out just how they want to attack a new set of downs.
They'll empty the backfield and motion him right. On first down, Hurts. He's got a man left. And he's able to take this one down to the 25. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1.
At the Falcons' 25-yard line.
Here's Hurts. Can't connect over the middle. It's incomplete. He was looking for Dallas Goedert there. And that leaves him with 3rd and short. Quickly looking left, and it's complete. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
The kick by Hopkins is good. And that one's going to get them on the scoreboard.
A dependable kicker, man, that is a coach's best friend. Saves him so much stress to have a guy he can really trust to go out and hit it from that distance consistently. Because from that far out, no kick is a guarantee.
On the return, here's Ray McCloud. And the return sets them up just beyond their own 20. Onto the field runs the Atlanta offense. And after having to call in their puncher those first 2 series, they really want to keep him on the sidelines for the duration of this one. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. They send a man in motion. 1st and 10, around to Robinson. And he gets it forward to still about a yard out of that. C.J. Gardner-Johnson there on the tackle. They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Throwing Penix. Nabbed by Kyle Pitts. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They managed 22 on the rip and a 1st down.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on 2nd down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about 3rd down at all.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. Here's Penix to throw. Chased out to his right. We've got a fumble pretty close to midfield. And no turnover. It's going to stay with the offense. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Tight end going in motion here. From midfield on 2nd down. Into the hands of Pitts. And he goes out a little short of the 40. That play goes for 8 yards, and it keeps this drive moving. On 1st down, here's Penix. He'll get this complete to Pitts. And he's going to be brought down at the 35-yard line. 2nd and 3 now. They go play action. Here's Penix. He's got it inside the 10. And he's down to the 8 before going out. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
You know I love those chunk completions. They're so critical. Those chunk plays, they lead statistically so often to scoring. And then when you get it to a tight end and play action, it's just a little icing on the cake.
This offense in position now. It's 1st and goal. And again, it's Penix. Cut near the goal line. And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line. It's 2nd and goal. Penix looking to pass. Forced out to his right. And they take this in for the score. The Falcons pull ahead 6-3 in the 1st. Michael Penix Jr. the touchdown. Just a great effort there from him, Brock, to take it upon himself, embrace the initiative, and turn that drive into 6.
You know, Kate, there was a day when you were watching Steve Young or Randall Cunningham, and that felt like a bonus touchdown. But that's not today. It feels like every quarterback's got to be able to score, be a dual threat on the ground. It's part of an offense every single team relies upon.
That one right down the middle. And the Falcons take a 4-point lead. Out to kick it away, here's Pinion. His return starts at the 5. Finds some space, he's past the 30. Some good work on that return. Brock gets this up to the 33. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Starting on the ground here with Barkley. And not a lot of room for him as he's brought down. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
Hurts now from the gun. On the move, headed right. He's keeping it. And he wisely avoids contact, sliding down there, and that played good enough for a 1st. Give him 15 yards on the pickup there. And that's good for an Eagles 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Throwing here, Hurts. Short pass brought in. And he's out of bounds after getting this one to the opposing 45-yard line. Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5.
Gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Hurts. Throw right side, caught by Smith. And he takes it just inside the 40, down to the 39. The drive picks up here, 1st and 10.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Straight ahead, here's Barkley. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
Well, I'll steal a line from one of my buddies, but I'm going to quote him. Mark Schlereth, 2-time Super Bowl winner, says if you want to run the ball, you got to keep running the ball. And that's a perfect example of it. Don't get tired. Don't get mad at gaining 4 yards. It's a run that can set up even more in the run game.
That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the 1st down.
That's another Eagles 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Back to throw, Hurts. Throw left side, complete. And he's brought down. They're going to mark him at the 14. They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
From the red zone now. This throw is caught. And they'll get this down nearly to the end zone. Instead, stopped at the 2. 4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal.
Good for another Eagles.
Barkley. And it took a couple of guys to haul him down there after a gain of just 1.
Okay, all right. There's a little progress on 1st and goal. You keep it safe, you push a little closer, and now you're set up for what you want to do on 2nd down.
They'll try again with Barkley. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
Kate, it's amazing how fast these guys are on the field and how fast your fortunes can turn. 2nd and short run, you're feeling good about yourself. But with a negative play, well, now comes a critical 3rd down.
Hurts now on 3rd and goal. And that is how our 1st quarter will end as that pass falls incomplete. That's the end of our 1st quarter. 3 more to go still on Monday night. Neither side separating much so far. We'll return to the link right after this. So on 4th down, on comes the Eagles kicker Jake Elliott for the try. A pretty automatic look for him from the left. The kick by Hopkins is good. And that cuts the lead back down to a lone point.
Okay, one of the areas that kickers and quarterbacks are similar, they want to get into rhythm. And no better way to feel good and get into that rhythm than start a game 2 for 2 as a kicker.
McLeod now returning it. He stopped on the return at the 27. Here's Atlanta ready to take over possession. And they're coming off an excellent series throwing the football that led to that touchdown, Brock. So you and I both expecting that defense to be looking for that on this series. Play action. Here's Penix. He fires one deep down the right. He's got it. Looks like the feeder inbounds too. Oh, I don't believe it. It's a pickup of 33 yards. And the Falcons will have a first.
You know, Kate, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
Big play gets him across midfield, sets him up 1st and 10 from the 40. Now he'll throw off the play fake. Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
Kate, it's so common that we talk about quarterbacks flushing a negative play, but defenses have to do the same thing as well. When you give up a big play, you got to regroup, you got to calm yourself, and you got to know it's all about the next play. And delivering a sack like that certainly helps.
And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. A couple yards there on 2nd down, and now a long ways to go on 3rd. Penix here from the gun. Flush down now to his left. He'll make a bid for it on the ground. And he protects himself with a slide there after a decent gain.
This is one of those occasions that it looks so promising when you take off as a quarterback, and then you're reminded just how fast these defenses are in the NFL. Couldn't quite move the chains, but it wasn't for a lack of trying.
And that's out. We're just waiting for the spot. They're going to say it cleared the sideline over top the 14. Philadelphia's offense back out for another drive. And their last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. This one snagged by Dallas Goedert. And he'll get this up to the 19-yard line as he stopped. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4.
At the 19-yard line.
Barkley on the shotgun handoff. And he'll get them forward here up to the 24-yard line. A 4-yard pickup, and they're just inches shy as we reach 3rd down. Option play. They give it to Barkley. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
I don't know what it is, Kate, but I love 3rd down runs. I really do. I know the receivers don't always like it because money down, they want the ball, but a 3rd down run for a 1st down can be so demoralizing to that defense.
1st down, and they go right back to it. And he's brought down after a tremendous effort just to get a couple of yards. 3 yards on the 1st down play, and that brings up 2nd and 7.
At the 32-yard line.
They go to Barkley again. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. That's Matthew Judon in on the tackle.
You know, these are the kind of runs, Kate, that a balanced game plan and a balanced offense is built on. It gets you good yardage, it sets up your play action, and it keeps that defense honest.
From the gun, a give to Gainwell. And he's tackled for a short gain. Only a yard that time. It forces 4th and 1.
I think one thing you learn, Kate, when you transition from college to the NFL, not every run is going to be a big play. Some of them, well, they're just destined to end in a minimal gain, and some of them will set up that critical play action for later.
Punter on now, and he gets into this one. And the coverage team is there as he fields it, so almost nothing on that return before he stopped. And that punt gets up to 59 yards. And the Falcons will have plenty of work to do on their next drive. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Going right side, Robinson with it. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. This one goes for an even 25 yards. And it's good for an Atlanta first down. Staying with Robinson. And they're on him after about a 2-yard gain. It was Reed Blankenship making the stop. He gets a couple on first, and they'll come up 2nd and 8. From the shotgun, Penix. It's into the hands of Mooney. And he's taken down directly on that 43-yard line. It's a gain of 12 there. And the Falcons will have a first. Robinson on the inside give. And he's swallowed up in the middle. No gain on the run. Brought down by Jalen Carter. 2nd and 10. Need to get some positive yardage here. Another carry for Robinson. We'll have him gain about a handful there. Devin White hauls him down. Here's 5 on that play. They need 5 more now on 3rd down. Penix working from the gun. That's caught for the first. And he pushes this down to the 22-yard line. It's a great pickup, 16 yards, and now they've got first down.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. To hit a curl route of that length, it takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
All right, set now, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff for Algier. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
You know, for pitchers, you hear them say, gosh, you got to pitch this guy backwards. For defenses, you got to do the same at times, Kate. You just can't always run it on first. You got to mix in some high-percentage pass plays. Otherwise, you're going to get hit right in the face for a loss just like that.
Give him 5 on that play. Now it's going to be 3rd down and 6. Penix now. And oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. Picked off Reed Blankenship. Well, how quickly things can change. They were looking so good just a couple of plays ago, and suddenly, not anymore. A red zone look comes up empty with that interception.
I think the pressure got to him there, Kate. And I don't even mean all those pass rushers, although they were certainly coming too. I mean the pressure of being 3rd down in the red zone. That's where you got to slow yourself down as a quarterback and know you've got to simply protect the football.
They're out and set, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap for Hurts. He's got Smith. And he's going to be brought down after getting this up to the 22. A new set of downs awaits him. Here's 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Barkley trying this up the gut. Room to work at the 35. And he's finally marked down at the 46-yard line. Give him 32 on that play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
I'll tell you what, Kay, one of the things I'm most proud of coming out of broadcast are my O-line buddies that will hit me up during the game and say thank you. Thank you for finally showing some love and giving some light to what those big boys are doing up front. I got to play with some of the best to do it. I got to see it up close and personal. Because of it, I'll never forget it. And they just showed up on that run.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Here's Hurts. Able to get it to Barkley. And this one's worked down to the 33 before being stopped. They get 13 on the pickup. And that's good for an Eagles first down.
That's good for another Eagles. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. He's got it to him yet again. That is caught. And they can't bring him down until he gets into that red zone at the 19. They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum and keep that defense on its heels.
All right, all set up now. 1st and 10. Hurts throwing again. pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
And look at that. All that effort and success from the previous play, it is gone. Credit to this defense who snapped and cleared. That's part of this game. You got to snap and clear. Give up a big play, come back and make a big one for yourself. And they do, getting home that sack.
Flushed out of the pocket. Oh, they're on him, and he's dropped again. And back-to-back takedowns behind the line of scrimmage set him up now with third down. Hurts setting up to throw. And they get to him again. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of fourth down.
That sure ended up being a worst-case scenario. Pass rush just kept coming and bearing down. And he was looking for an escape that wasn't there. It's just one of those plays in hindsight, Kate, where you really got to understand, I got to cut bait, cut my losses, and avoid such a negative play.
The Eagles are in punt formation. Deep for the Falcons, Ray McLeod. And he's certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. And no chance at a return. He wisely angled it for the sideline and got it down to the 12 before going out. Now here come the Falcons on offense. Their last series sure was looking like points up until that interception, Brock. Hopefully they can move the ball similarly well as they take over here. And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play.
These stops, they don't always make the end-of-game highlight reels, but they absolutely should. The coaches and players know it. Offenses are always counting on yards on that type of run. And anytime it results in a loss, it could be a potential drive killer.
Complete out to the right side. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. Milton Williams making the stop. Let's see what they draw up on a 3rd and 7. Defense showing blitz. Here's Penix. He'll get this complete to Mooney. And this one gets to the 33-yard line before it's stopped. They'll get 18 yards there. And it's good for an Atlanta first down.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
Ball at the 33 for first down. They go play action. Here's Penix. Brought in right side by Moore. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They managed 22 on the rip and a first down. And again, it's Penix. And he just gets rid of it. Knew he had a couple of plays left. Didn't want to take a risk there on first down. So after the incompletion, here comes the second down call. From the gun, it's Robinson. He's contained at the line for no gain. Devin White hauls him down. 3rd and 10. Can this offense get it done? Penix now to throw. Complete beyond the marker. And they get this down to the 28. A very productive play from the rookie QB out of Washington. That gets them a first down.
First down, Atlanta.
It's the 2-minute warning now from the length. It's the Falcons with 1st and 10. Back now, pressure on its way. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up second down. Penix. Buys time, rolling right. He's on the move. Decent yardage picked up here before he slides down to avoid the tackle. All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Here's Penix to throw. And that one's incomplete. Pretty fortunately so. That was a big risk. Nearly Instead, it brings up 4th down. So now on is Younghoe Koo for the Falcons field goal. This is going to be a 38-yarder from the right hash. The kick by Lutz is good. And that'll push their lead to 4.
Well, that's a type of long, sustained drive that takes some of the starch out of your opponent. The only negative is that the kicking team was out there for a field goal and not an extra point. But they do come away with 3.
Return starts at the 3. He stopped on the return at the 27. This offense running out for a new series, led by their running back. They're getting close to a minute to play, Brock, and they're going to need that time with a long field ahead. Offense ready to begin this drive, 1st and 10. Hurts now from the gun. Caught him deep behind the line. Oh, the ball is out! And the Falcons scoop it up. And they stop him before he gets much on the return. Well, that didn't take long, Brock. One play, and they're back out there.
Well, that's how a defense can make you awfully happy as an offensive player, especially when you screw it up and you fumble. The defense picks up that offense and puts them right back on the field.
The Falcons ready for their next possession. They seem likely to carry the lead into the locker room, but some points here to end the half could make things even more comfortable. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Throwing now, following the turnover. This one's caught. And it looks like he went out of bounds right at that 7-yard line.
You know, Kate, over the years, I have heard defensive coordinators say, hey, you got to earn the right to rush your passer. You got to earn the right for me to call blitzes. And when you call a blitz and you don't get home and you don't hit the quarterback.
Touchdown, Atlanta! Great opportunity to find a touchdown there, Brock, and they come through with 6.
Receivers want the ball everywhere on the football field. But you start smelling the end zone, they really want their chance. And they will tell you as a quarterback, just give me an opportunity and I'll make a play. And he sure did.
Koo on now for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Falcons drive their lead to 11.
Eagles 6.
Out to kick it away, here's Pinion. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. Good looking return here, and he's got room. His return reaches that 34-yard line before he stopped. The Eagles ready to set up shop on offense. They're trailing, but there's enough time, Brock, that they could get a scoring drive to attack that here before the break. 1st and 10, here's Hurts. And the 1st down pass sent away by a defender, incomplete.
How many times do defenders hear from their coaches, read and react, read and react? You got to read where the quarterback's eyes are going, and then more importantly, you got to react as he begins to throw and knock that ball away.
Has him on the quick hitter. And not much doing. He stopped quickly. Now ahead of 3rd down. We get a pause here. They're going to call a timeout. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. It's 3rd and 8. Need to get a chunk here. From the pistol, Hurts. This finds Smith. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a 1st down. Philadelphia going to spend its 2nd timeout. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. They're set up at the 35 now. 1st down throwing for Hurts. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Tough one to retain through that hit. And it sets up 2nd down. Throwing here, Hurts. This one finds Goddard. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They managed 22 on the rip and a 1st down. They kick the running back in motion. On 1st down, Hurts. Has it down close. And he's to the 5 before going out of bounds.
There's no routes on the old proverbial route tree, Kate, that takes more trust than throwing an out route. You're throwing it to a spot and believing your guy can get there.
And that one is incomplete, and the clock stops with 18 seconds to go. He was looking for A.J. Brown there. So it's going to be 3rd and short coming up. Shotgun snap for Hurts. And he has it in the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia! The Eagles make it a one-score game before halftime. No hesitation on that throw. He got the guy he wanted right away, and he got it to him for the touchdown.
You know, it's great, Kate, to draw up plays that have all sorts of different options, but it's even better when you don't have to get to your second read. His first broke open just like they planned, and that's 6 in the end.
That one splits the uprights. And the Eagles cut the lead down to 4. We've got a good one here. They've cut the lead to 4 as they send it away. And he opts not to bring this one out, so they're going to enjoy some good starting field position from the 30. They'll turn to the ground game and just run this clock out. And he's into the front for a gain of about 2. We've reached the midway point of this game. The visiting Falcons taking a lead into that locker room. Now down the coast we go to Orlando, Florida, in our studio there. Jonathan Coachman waiting by with the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, thanks very much. As mentioned, this is the EA Sports Halftime Report. Time to take a look around the NFL and find out what's going on this fine Sunday. We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, where it was the Cowboys who get the win at home. Kirk Cousins, couple of touchdown passes as his guys win their 2nd straight to start the year. From there, we slide over to the desert to check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting L.A. Rams. Kyler Murray, 2 touchdown passes as his guys make amends for the setback in Week 1. Finally, let's get down to Miami to see what's going on with the Dolphins. And they were winners in their ball game over the visiting Buffalo Bills. Odell Beckham leading the way with 3 touchdown catches. These two teams heading out of the tunnel, and we're ready to get back to it. For the call of the second half, here is the great Kate T. Scott. Kate?
All right, thank you, Coach, and we are back and about set to begin the second half. Now to kick it away, here's Pinion. Has this at the 6. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down. Philadelphia has its offense out to start this 3rd quarter. That passing game they went to in the first half, it's going to need to be fiery to start this second half, too, as they chase this lead. They've got first down from the 31. They'll go from the gun with Barkley. He's pushed straight ahead, and that's maybe a yard at most. Arnold Ebiketie makes it there for the stop. They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Back to throw, Hurts. This one falls incomplete. Couldn't connect with Dallas Goedert. So they're left facing 3rd and long. Hurts looking to throw. No place to go, so he just threw it away.
So many coaches love 3rd downs, and they practice them so much, Kate. Why? Because they're the money down in the NFL. Whether it's a close game already out of hand, coaches know, got to execute and convert on these 3rd downs.
And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. The Falcons and Michael Penix Jr. set to take over again. And on that last drive, Brock, he crossed a notable threshold in passing yards for the season. Always nice when you can reach one of those plateaus to look back on after the year's over. Drive begins with a run. It's Robinson. He's going to snag a couple of yards charging up the gut. It was Reed Blankenship making the stop. 8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this second down. From the 32. Got a man. It's London. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
A gain of 11 on the play. And the Falcons first down.
Penix working from the gun. That's going to be an incomplete pass on the throw to the right. That throw is looking for Kyle Pitts. And that'll bring up second down. Here's Robinson up the middle. Runs into traffic and hits a wall. No gain. Devin White hauls him down. No gain on the play, and they still need 10 now on third down. From the shotgun, Penix. That's caught for the first. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. That one goes for 31 yards and a first down when all is said and done.
He just made a difficult throw to the outside look elementary, Kate, and that's not easy. The placement, excellent. And it helped set his target up to put some more yards on that stat sheet.
So the big play has him well into enemy territory and field goal range. They're inside the 30. He puts some power on a deep one left. Taking a deep shot there on first down. Okay, no luck connecting. It's incomplete. No dice on that prior pass. Here's second down. Penix here from the gun. Completed over the middle. This is ahead for about 5. Cooper to Jean with the stop. Let's see what they went with on third down. Throwing now from the gun. Into the hands of Pitts. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. That chunk worth a nice 21 yards. And that will set up first and goal.
I'm not sure how this defense let that guy slip through him like that. On third down, nonetheless, he took that snap as an opportunity, and man, did he make an impact play.
Working inside the red zone. And he will score. Touchdown, Atlanta! The Falcons push their lead further to start the half. Drake London with the touchdown. Right on the edge of the goal line for first and goal. And I don't know about you, partner, but that surprised me that they just threw it in. No attempts at running it.
Yeah, I think it is so hard for these defenders. You got to be so keyed in and physically, you know you've got to stop that run first. So a first down pass play can and certainly was effective.
Extra point by Koo is up and good. And the Falcons drive their lead to 11.
Eagles 13.
Out to kick it away. Here's Pinion. Return coming from the 6. He stopped on the return at the 27. Philadelphia getting ready to go on offense. And this game might be going better if he could have some more time just to work back there. This pass rush has been all over them. Really keeps taking this offense out of any grooves that they've managed to get into.
Okay, I like to say in life there's energy givers and there's energy vampires.
Yeah.
And for this defense, these sacks right here, they're such energy givers. And, man, it's like a vampire sucking the juice out of an offense.
Yeah, I love that. Starting on the ground here with Barkley. And he found some running room for a nice gain. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're going to have 2nd and 2 next.
Brings up 2nd and 2.
This one's a little touch pass forward to his man coming across. Breaks across midfield, hits the opposing territory. And they bring him down, but there's a flag on the field. Fighting all he could to keep his quarterback upright, but crossed the line there. That earns the holding penalty. On the play fake, it's Hurts. That pass caught by Dotson. He picks up 15 on the play. And that's a Philadelphia first down.
Okay, when you watch the combine, you'll watch guys try to make this throw. And without chemistry, it's so hard to execute. That was picture perfect. That's a QB and receiver on the same page because that route, that deep out to the field, that takes just a different level of connectedness.
Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop it. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
There is no question this defense has risen to the occasion of prime time tonight. There's also no question that this is a window into the kind of beating quarterbacks can take when you can't protect him. He's going to have to use all week to get his body right to hopefully hit the field next week.
Wonder what's in the playbook here as they come up on 3rd and 11. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. He's on the move. He's running for it.
Well, this is in every quarterback's tool belt, even the ones not regarded as the best movers and shakers. But, Kate, to play QB in the league today, you've got to be able to do this. If you've got nobody open, still get some positive yards with your legs.
Punt team on the field. Braden Mann will kick it away. That one hits at the 6, but can't check up. It gets into the end zone for a touchback. The offense being led back out by its quarterback as they get geared up for their next possession. And he'll be happy to keep letting it fly as much as he has all game. Look at these numbers. They show just how effective he's been in captaining this offense. 1st and 10, around to Robinson. And defenders are there to get him at the line. Josh Sweat making the stop. No progress on 1st down, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Defense showing blitz. Here's Penix. He'll get this complete to Pitts. And it's going to be about a 3-yard pickup in the end. Devin White hauls him down. 3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Penix now to throw. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. Darius Slay has it.
Well, obviously not the cleanest game with now 2 interceptions, but here's the key. This is where mental toughness for a quarterback becomes so critical. And frankly, why some of the best QBs playing today have baseball in their background, because you flush your mistakes. Okay, you strike out, you throw an interception, but you got to go get it in that next series. Got to put these interceptions behind and press forward ahead.
The Eagles about set to go on offense. And they're set up well inside of enemy territory. They've got a short field after that pick. 1st and 10 now from the 30. Hurts now from the gun. Barkley's got it.
Well, there was never a play in any playbook I ever saw designed for a lost yardage play when you throw the ball. But if there's any solace, at least it was 1st down. A couple more chances to make up for it.
2nd and 12 behind the sticks. Taken in by Smith. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. 6 defensive backs out there. Falcons in the dime on 3rd. Here's Hurts. And oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. Jesse Bates in to pick it off. And the Falcons will take over as he records his 1st interception of our season. Well, no doubt there was some doom and gloom on the sideline following their interception, right? But a little bit of new life now as their defense picks him up, gets it right back for them.
Hey, I am all for a nice little game of one-upmanship between these 2 defenses. You picked our guy off, fine. We'll answer right away. See how you follow that up.
The Falcons headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And as we can see here, it hasn't been the easiest game for him to operate out there, right? Number of rough moments for him. This defense able to pick him off twice to highlight their performance against him. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He's looking to throw. That's into the hands of Moore. And he gets him around 6 there. Cooper to Jean with the stop.
You know what I love to say? You never go broke taking a profit, and you often gain profits when you use your eyes as a quarterback. Those hitch routes, those underneath throws, oftentimes it's the eyes of the quarterback looking downfield and then taking that short completion.
And he's going to be brought down up at the 28-yard line. He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap, a give to Robinson. And he found some running room for a nice gain. Call it 9 yards. Looked like a first for a moment. It's 2nd and 1. From the 37. That one's complete to London. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs. Football on that 47-yard line, 1st down. Penix. Pitts brings it in. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field.
You get this big old dude like him in the slot, it's an automatic mismatch advantage. You're trading a little bit of speed, sure. You sure do get a lot of size. And anytime he's in the slot, you got to assume the ball's going his way.
On 2nd down, Robinson. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
You know how we hear about teams and quarterbacks avoid targeting a stud quarterback, just throwing away from him? Well, maybe they should avoid running it anywhere near this guy. He's having no issue stopping these plays cold.
And down he goes. The Eagles got him. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down.
This is one of those situations where QB's strength and ability to run can be a great blessing, but can also be a curse. We've seen him use his feet before. This guy can escape, and that's a blessing. But it can be a curse because sometimes you think you can get out of everything. And this defense just proved he couldn't.
The Falcons getting ready for the punt. It'll be Bradley Pinion doing the honors. That hits at the 9, but nobody around to grab it. It carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles and Saquon Barkley ready to take over once again. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. And as some running lanes have closed, he's just found some new ones. Continuing to hit this defense, more good numbers well into this 2nd half. And they'll bring him down after a pretty short gain. Manages just a yard on 1st down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Shotgun snap for Hurts. It's Dotson on the catch. Decent gain here, but short of the 1st. 3rd and just 2 to go. Hurts looking to throw. Complete beyond the marker. And he's tackled with a 1st down yardage.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. A tight end that moves the chains on 3rd down, that's a QB's best friend.
1st and 10. Here's Hurts. Finds him over the middle. Good little rip there. Looks like about 6. A.J. Terrell making that stop. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line.
Able to find Dotson here. And this one does not go far. Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2.
Straight ahead, here's Barkley. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
You love a huddle? Okay, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there that he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
From the pistol, Hurts. Underneath it goes. Catch made by the running back. And he's taken down directly on that 43-yard line. To the line we go. They're set, 1st and 10. Handoff headed right, Barkley. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. Give him 5 on that carry. Bring it up 2nd and 5. A play fake, now Hurts to throw. Bails out of the pocket quick. He tucks it and takes off. And he'll be brought down here at the 23-yard line. He finds him 16 yards and a new set of downs.
When a play breaks down, every once in a while, you got to be able to make a play with your legs. His offense counts on that ability to evade pressure and occasionally make plays just like that one.
On 1st down, Hurts. It was there, but he couldn't hang on. That's incomplete.
Oh, that drop is such a bummer because it ruins the payoff of such a well-designed play, Kate. Got the man open, beat the coverage, but then you got to go finish it. You got to go make that catch. I will say, keep that one in mind. They can revisit that play in the future.
And they limit the damage just a few yards on that game. Lorenzo Carter there to bring him down. Let's see what they draw up on these 3rd and 7. Back to throw, Hurts. Escapes the pocket. Oh, he's going to run for it. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
You know, that's one of those little mental Rolodex plays. Right before the snap, you know if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the 1st down.
They're going to run with Barkley. Runs it in for the Philadelphia touchdown. The Eagles shave some off the deficit late in the quarter. Saquon Barkley, the touchdown. Well, he found himself some space to work, and from there, all athleticism as he made his way in for 6.
You know, you run the ball down in the red zone, Kate, you're not always thinking touchdowns, right? Space is so hard to come by. But you're exactly right. His athleticism, his explosion, his speed, it puts 6 on the board for the offense.
And he goes down, the pressure gets home, and they will not take another 2 off that lead.
You go with what you think is your best option. There they felt like it was going to be a pass, but sometimes it simply doesn't work.
So after making this a 5-point ball game, they kick it off. McClown now returning it. He's got a lane up past the 30. They'll take over at the 39-yard line. Nice return there. Some early movement on the left side there, but was he the first to go, or was he provoked? So tough to stay set when you've got defenders doing everything they can to make you jump, and, well, they got one of them to move that time. They're set back 5 by that false start. Now 15 yards to the marker. Penix working from the gun. Into the hands of Pitts. And he's caught after a gain of about 2. Devin White hauls him down. Only 1 quarter remains in our final game of the week. That's the end of the 3rd. It's the Falcons with the football. They're leading, but not by a ton. Offense to the line for 2nd down. They go play action. Here's Penix. And it looks great flying through the air, Brock, but problems on the business end as it falls to the ground. 3rd down coming up. Penix here from the gun. The Eagles swarm in and take him down. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Kate, the game wasn't on the line with that series, but don't tell the defense because they brought the urgency and juice like it was. Getting the sack, setting up 4th down, well, it picks everybody up on that sideline. And now their offense gets a chance in a 1-score game.
Punting unit out now. And after that drive went backwards, he's going to send this one forward. He sends this away, and oh, this is going to be a field flipper. Collects this at the 32. And he's brought down before the return gets far. That punt finishes as a 60-yard effort. And they're going to take over possession. Eagles in a good spot here as they come up to the line, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, here's Hurts. Throwing the out route complete. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
This running back is a mismatch maker. That's how I label him on my little sheet right here. Right under his bio, this guy just creates matchup nightmares for every defender on the field.
First down throwing for Hurts. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. That's Justin Simmons.
Well, that's now 2, Kate, that they've gotten him for picks in this game, and he's got to be careful. Right? You've got to protect the football. It is the greatest treasure you have as an offense. And this defense, well, they've got 2 in their pocket, and you know they're going to be going after number 3.
Here's the Falcon offense headed out. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. The Falcons in good field position here as they start out 1st and 10. Motioning the tight end left. Penix now on 1st down. He's on the move. He's running with it.
Just not much to do right there, whether he wanted to run it or throw it. Even if he scraped a positive gain out of it, that's still a win for this defense.
Here's 2nd and 7. He'll get this complete to Mooney. And he pushes this down to the 42 before going down. It's a 13-yard play, and that's enough for the first. Man in motion out of the slot. On 1st down, here's Penix. Throwing all the way to the end zone here. They did it. He made the interception.
Well, that's it right there. That's the resilience and the mental toughness that every coach wants to see from his defense. Not a great spot for him. Backed up close enough that they're going to get shots taken in the end zone. But instead of collapsing under pressure, they rose up and they created the takeaway.
Now outruns their offense to take over. And you know that interception is in the back of their minds as they head back out there now. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Running right, it's Barkley. And he's brought down for a loss.
On these 1st and 10 calls, defenses are always keyed in that a run might be coming their way. And as soon as the QB turned to give the ball, the entire defense came crashing in to bury them for a loss.
Hurts now from the gun. Has a man, it's Brown. And he'll be brought down along the 25-yard line. Here they come, this is 3rd and 5. Backfield is empty as they motion him out right. Chased out to his right. He'll make a bid for it on the ground. A nice gain of 13 yards as it brings up a 1st down.
I can promise you, that was the goal from the moment he took off. He kept his eyes locked on the chains. It's almost like he had a spidey sense. He knew exactly where to get in order to move the sticks and get that critical 1st down.
1st down, a run with Barkley. And he'll bowl his way ahead for a 4-yard pickup.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 + 4 + 4 equals a 1st down.
From the 42. Why not go back to it again if it's working? Complete. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. That play goes for 19 and a new set of downs.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
1st down now, ball at the 39-yard line. Option play, they give it to Barkley. And he ranges forward to the 31 before they bring him down. Pickup of 8 on the run, and that sets up 2nd and 2.
Yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 31-yard line.
From the 31. That pass caught by Johnson. And he's going to go out of bounds just short of that red zone. It's a pickup of 9 yards. And that's good for an Eagles first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Now they'll throw out of the gun. This one finds Goddard. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 at the 16-yard line.
Barkley trying this up the gut. And he has it down to the 8-yard line on the play. A nice gain of 8 there, and that brings them to 1st and goal.
That does not show up on any explosive stat sheet, but let me tell you, Kate, that's the real deal right there. You run for that kind of yardage consistently in the NFL, you do set yourself up for success.
And he drives into a pile of defenders and is stopped right at the line. Another snap from the 8 here. It's 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line.
From the gun, a give to Gainwell. And he drives forward for a little, maybe to the 7. Give him maybe a yard on that play, Brock. Still 7 to go on 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal.
Running back, motioning right. Hurts now on 3rd and goal. And he gets in. Touchdown, Philadelphia! The Eagles take a 4th quarter lead. So that, Brock, an important score here as they move out in front.
You know, Kate, this is the time of the game where fatigue starts to set in every once in a while. But that right there was a determined-looking drive. They were not going to be denied and able to score and take the lead.
A big spot for the Eagles now as they go for 2.
The Eagles will set up for the 2-point conversion.
He's throwing for it. Vacates quickly left side. And he's into the end zone. So that turns out to be a very smart risk. They've got the lead in this 4th quarter. Well, that right there, a very important 2-point conversion, Brock. Their lead now up to 3. A field goal would only tie this one.
Yeah, the math was pretty easy on that one, right? You know what it does. It puts you up 3 and forces a field goal on the other side. But I'll tell you what else I like there, Kate. It's psychology. Puts a little seed of doubt on that other side. Maybe if you come into this moment later in the game, and certainly an injection of confidence for your offense that they can deliver in the clutch.
McLeod now returning it. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. The Falcons are being led back out there on offense by their quarterback. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Interception last drive doesn't deter them. They're going right back to the air. Oh, look at this. Here he goes. Big gainer here as he picks up 20. And the Falcons will have a 1st.
I can tell you what, that was the goal from the moment he took off. Kept his eyes locked on the chains and made sure he set them up with a new set of downs. Well done.
Penix on 1st down. That one's complete to London. And he'll get this down to the 33-yard line. A big play, 23 yards to move those chains.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a 1st down.
Ball at the 33 for 1st down. From the shotgun, Penix. That one doesn't find its man, incomplete.
That is normally a gimme for this offense, these short throws. But the defense, well, they had just enough influence on that play to force the incompletion.
Brought in right side by Moore. And he pushes this down to the 22-yard line. 12 yards on that play, and a good call nets him the first. And again, it's Penix. Has him on the quick hitter. And they make the stop as that play reaches the 14-yard line.
The goal of that little drag route is to get him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. That picked up a good chunk, and it was nearly a big play.
Escapes out to the left. He takes it himself, and he carries it in for the touchdown. The Falcons take a fourth-quarter lead. Michael Penix Jr., the touchdown. At this distance, a very dangerous player on any pass play because, Brock, as he's scanning the field to throw for the end zone, he's looking for an avenue to run it to.
Kate, this is exactly why it's never been harder to play defense in the NFL. The precision and the execution in the passing game, the efficiency has never been better. But then when you do cover it up, you got guys like this who can scramble and make you pay with their legs.
Eagles, 27.
Out to kick it away, here's Pinion. Starting from the 5. In pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. The Eagles and quarterback Jalen Hurts ready to go once more on offense. And you know this firsthand, partner. You get above that 300 mark, you and your offense are going to have plenty of highlights to choose from by this point in the game. We're getting a look at some of them now. You just got to marvel at how well he's played the quarterback position here. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. From the pistol, Hurts. Flushed out of the pocket. He'll try and run this. The ball's out, he lost it. And this is going to be a turnover. The defense forces the big play. Well, that didn't take long, Brock. One play, and they're back out there.
Well, that's how a defense can make you awfully happy as an offensive player, especially when you screw it up and you fumble. The defense picks up that offense and puts them right back on the field.
The visitors and Drake London headed back out onto the field. And I'm pretty sure, Brock, they hadn't even all sat down on that sideline yet to rest. And now they're right back out there with a great chance to repeat their last touchdown.
And you will take that every day of the week and twice on Sundays. You don't mind at all. You got that defense right now reeling after the touchdown. Look at where they start with the football now. You really want those throws to be like clockwork for your offense. Every team needs to hit passes in that short to intermediate range to effectively move the ball.
Play action. Here's Penix. He's going to push one deep. This is caught inside the 15. And this one's stopped at the 3-yard line. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
The analytics are pretty clear. It's hard to move the ball in this league with short little dinks and dunks. You've got to get the explosive chunk. You got to get the big play. And that throw to the outside, that gets the job done.
All set up for an insurance score here. It's 1st and goal. Here's Robinson. And all he can get is 1 yard. Ran that right into the defensive front.
Hey, I get it on 1st and goal, right? A lot of teams like to be conservative and limit risk. Even if a run is stopped short, you still got 2, sometimes 3 downs to play with.
And that's complete in the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. The Falcons grow their lead off the turnover. They were throwing for it there, and they didn't care who knew about it, Brock. And it turns out, hey, nothing was going to stop them either.
Yeah, there's something about an empty formation. You are declaring to a defense, other than QB draw, this ball is going to be in the air. But at the same time, you also force the defense's hand. There's only so many coverages they can play, and they just exposed them.
Koo with the extra point. And the Falcons drive their lead to 11.
38. Eagles, 27.
Out to kick it away. Here's Pinion. Has this at the 6. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. The Eagles ready for their next series, led out on offense by their quarterback. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Shotgun snap for Hurts. He'll get this one to Brown. And he'll get it up near the 38-yard line before going down.
Well, he saw his guys pick up the blitz. Well, he felt them pick it up anyway if he wasn't looking at him. But with their effort on his behalf, I think this QB felt owed to them and the group up front to find somebody to get a completion, so that effort up front wasn't in vain.
Hauled in by Goddard, left side. And he's tackled after getting this to the opposing 46. Working quickly here.
That's good for an Eagles.
They'll go from the gun with Barkley. And he's able to get this to the 32 before going down. Moving quickly, trying to get set again. 1st and 10, here's Hurts. Smith pulls this one in along the sideline. And he runs it down inside the 15 before going out. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains. He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. To the ground with Barkley. And this is down to the 5-yard line before they can stop him. Offense in the hurry up here. On the play fake, it's Hurts. The shot to the end zone is incomplete. Tough to blame him for that drop, Brock. Even if it would have been a touchdown, that was a great effort defensively, timing that hit, keeping them from hitting the end zone.
Reaction and burst. You get in the red zone defensively, you'll hear it all the time. You cannot wait. You've got to react. And then you got to burst. And that defender does a tremendous job of breaking that pass up with contact.
Oh, that's a tough one. Couldn't bring in the touchdown clean. It falls incomplete. It's going to be 2nd down. Barkley on the shotgun handoff. And he runs it across. Touchdown. The Eagles now within 1 score in the 4th. Saquon Barkley, the touchdown. All right, so the offense does its job, Brock. Now they need their defense to give them a chance to overcome that big deficit.
The momentum in the building's clearly changed. We can feel it here in the booth, but you're right. It's now up to the defense to make a stop and give them a chance.
And they get the 2-point conversion. He's in the lead, only a field goal now. Critical 2-point play there, Brock. The conversion puts them now in range of tying this sucker up with a field goal.
So different for everybody in the building, right? A 3-point game, and especially different for the kicker. He wasn't needed there, but get yourself ready. Your defense does the job. You may need a game-tying field goal at some point soon.
Volley set up, and it's away. Just a 3-point game now. McLeod now returning it. He stopped on the return at the 27. This offense headed back to the field, led by their receiver. And he's been reading the coverage, dare I say, Brock, even better than his quarterback has all game. I mean, he just continues to find openings and make plays in this second half. Penix working from the gun. Into the hands of Pitts. And he crosses the sideline a yard or two beyond, looks like the 30.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage. New set of downs for him at the 38. Going to the ground again on 1st. And that carry gets him up to the 44 on a solid gain. So quickly the defense burns a timeout here. 1:57 remaining in the game. On 2nd down, Robinson. And he's short of the 1st after a mild gain. With 1:54 remaining, the defense burns a timeout. 3rd and a lone yard coming up. Staying with Robinson. And he made a bid for midfield there, but stopped on his own side at the 49. Now whistles and a timeout taken quickly by the defense. 1:50 left to go. Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on first down. They drop to a knee, and what little time we have left here is going to tick down.
This is situational football at its best. There's still some time left to bleed off the clock, but the really important thing here is you've got to bleed every second of that clock that you can.
Running left is Robinson. And he reaches midfield and starts driving into Eagles territory. Give him 6 yards on the run, so it's going to be 3rd and 5. He'll go to a knee to close this one out, Brock, and it's only fitting that he's holding the ball in the end after the absolutely tremendous game that he had.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
So this one sails over the sideline, and they'll spot it where a touchback would go at the 20-yard line. So the Falcons will fly home with a win on the road. And there was no easing up. It took some white knuckling until the very end, but their defense carried that small lead through to the finish line as they escape with the victory. And with Brock Heward and our EA Sports crew, I'm Kate Scott saying so long from this one. A well-earned win for the Falcons as we say so long from Philadelphia.